What's actually happening right now in Odessa? You can hear this obviously. We were just there with President Stalinsky, and now this is what's happening here now. Loud booms, air raid sirens coming in from Russia. Our Alex Marquardt is there. Alex, can you hear me and take it away? Aaron, I can hear you just fine. And what you're playing, there are some of the extraordinary scenes that we have seen playing out really over the course of the past hour here in Odessa. This is a lull. We hope that it is a long lull, or in fact, the end of what might be a very loud and violent night here in Odessa. Of course, it's just past 2 o'clock in the morning. What we've heard is a significant barrage of drones and missiles attempting to strike this city. We have seen just these extraordinary scenes of Ukrainian air defense trying to fend off what we imagine are these Iranian-made head drones. These are the drones that Russia tries to send at Odessa and other Ukrainian cities on an almost daily basis. But also these huge caliber cruise missiles that have been fired at this city now for 2 nights in a row from the Black Sea. These are enormous missiles that at least last night Ukraine said that they had intercepted. But last night we heard some impacts. Tonight, Aaron, a lot more impacts. This has been a much busier, much louder night than last night. We did hear I would say 6 to 10 of these loud impacts. All around us. Now, we are in downtown Odessa. This is one of the biggest cities, one of the most important cities in the country. We're not too far from that critical port. What impact, or rather, what effect these missiles have had on this city at this point that certainly remains to be seen. We're keeping our eyes glued on the sky because what we've been seeing, rather, are these tracer rounds that have been going up, these red tracers going up by the hundreds to take down these drones that start up at any moment without any notice. You can hear, Aaron, and you've just been in Ukraine, that there is no air raid siren. The air raid sirens have been notably absent tonight, but we have seen spotlights in the sky. We assumed that those are Ukrainian forces looking for those drones, trying to shoot them down. Just extraordinary scenes. I've really never seen anything like it in years of covering conflict. Aaron, the Kremlin had already said earlier today that this was a direct response, a direct retaliation for Ukraine carrying out the attack on the Kerch Bridge between Crimea and mainland Russia. And the Kremlin said, in fact, they were still looking for more options to try to respond even further. And it is safe to assume, Aaron, that this second night in a row, this much heavier second night in a row, is a continuation of that response from the Kremlin. You know, and Alex, you obviously were here on the show 24 hours ago when you were talking about explosions that obviously, as you were speaking, that was happening. You also were hearing those air raid sirens. And, of course, as we all know, you become accustomed to those air raid sirens. But they're meaningful and often they are related to drones, caliber missiles, whatever it might be. But you're talking about tonight not hearing those air raid sirens. And obviously, I know you don't know the reason as to why, but it does seem notable. Well, you're absolutely right, Aaron. And we should make the point that oftentimes there are air raid sirens that are all across the country. For example, when a bomber is sent up in Russia, we can hear an air raid siren all across the country because we simply don't know where that Russian bomber is going to target. And so Ukrainian authorities want their citizens to take cover and go into basements so that they aren't hurt. They want them to stay away from windows so that if there is an explosion, that they don't get hurt. It's hard to say that there certainly were air raid sirens earlier in the evening. And then later, I just noticed at the later end of this latest salvo, that I wasn't hearing air raid sirens, but there has been a lot going on air.